Hey guys, it's Isaac again for another story, a different song. It's a new song on the channel here called Brand New Eyes. And this is really the second part to kind of a two-part song. And they sound a lot different, but kind of like a mini-series, I guess. Based on the first chapter of Romans, specifically Romans verses 18 through 32. And I like to refer to that passage as the dark exchange, because that's what that passage is talking about is this cycle that we go through as humans, where we exchange the truth about God for a lie, for images, for things we want to worship, and then God gives us over to that desire and gives us up to what we want, and then we receive, as it says in the passage, in ourselves the due penalty for our error, meaning God's wrath is poured upon us in the form of our own sin and the results and consequences of that sin. And the first song, Tragedy, which is quite an old song by now actually, which I released maybe a month ago on this channel, that song is more of a broad look at the topic. What has the human race done? What is the human race doing in rejecting God? And what wrath are we incurring on ourselves? And that's really the whole song is. We've exchanged the truth about God for a lie, and we're serving the creature rather than the Creator. And that's kind of the gist of that song. And then it ends with, Lord, open our eyes. Only you can change our desires. Only you can change us. And that's how that song ends. And then this song, Brand New Eyes, hopefully I'll go back and do a more in-depth study of the song Tragedy at some point. The song Brand New Eyes is really a more personal look at what Tragedy, I keep getting this mixed up with another song I wrote called Depravity, but Tragedy is the name. So this song Brand New Eyes is really a closer look at a personal struggle with sin, a personal falling back, a personal giving over, God giving me to my desires, and me ignoring God. So it really takes tragedy and brings it to a personal level. And I think a lot of people can relate to this because it's kind of brutally honest. It kind of strips away the glitz and gets down to the core of what sin is. Idol worship, it looks at idol worship and what that is, and how the essential nature of sin is exchanging one truth for a lie. The glory of God for a copy of a copy of a copy of God. It says images of a likeness of corruptible man. I heard a really amazing sermon by John Piper, and that is kind of what inspired the name of this two-part song, The Dark Exchange. That's what he used in his message on this passage in his series through Romans, and that's kind of what inspired this name of this song. And anyways, he was talking about that verse that talks about how we exchange the truth about God for images of a likeness of corruptible man. So you've got corruptible man trying to imitate God, but we're not even getting that when we exchange God for it. And we're not even getting a copy of that. We're not even getting I'm losing my train of thought here. So we're not even getting a likeness of that corruptible man. What we're getting is an image of a likeness of a corruptible man that is trying to imitate God. So we're getting a copy of a copy of a copy of God. We're trading God for some secondhand God. And that God isn't even worth comparing to the true God. So it really looks at how foolish and what a waste it is when we worship idols here on earth. Instead of turning from our sins, repenting of them, and desperately crying out to God, we need you, I need you. And submitting yourself to Him instead of wasting our time on these idols that never satisfy, that never bring us true happiness and true contentment because they always leave us wanting more and they never deliver. Never. They never do. The desire in our hearts was made to be fulfilled by God. We were made to worship. We were made to worship the one true God. And if we don't worship God, we're going to worship everything else. And so the song is a personal look at that. It's called Brand New Eyes. I hope that it does something for you, whether it motivate you, encourage you, convict you. I pray that God uses this song in your life in some meaningful way. Thank you so much.